The Guardians of the Galaxy. They're back. Wow, what a film. What a film. I went to this film the other night by myself, as most of the movies I see these days are by myself.
Me too.
At the mall, you know, those center of all activity malls. So I went to the mall. I sat there. I'm like, I can't wait to see my good friends in Thunder. And then as I'm buying concessions, I go, shit, I didn't watch the stupid holiday special. So I frantically tweeted on Twitter. I'm like, guys, I didn't watch it. What happened? Someone tell me what happened. And apparently the only big takeaway from that is that they bought the big head in space and Mantis was Peter's sister.
Yeah, and the dog's just there. They don't even really introduce the dog, I don't think, either.
Well, Cosmo was in... I got a whole rant about Cosmo. Cosmo was in the first Guardians of the Galaxy for like a second.
Really?
So it's just always been in that floating head. I assumed Mantis was Peter's sister because they made a point to say that Ego went around banging people from a bunch of planets. And I guess he just kept her around because of her mind powers. Is there any bigger reason why she's his sister? Do they go into any
Character
detail?
Development, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, so there's really nothing special. She's just another one of Ego's kids. But did she not know that, or
she apparently kept it from Peter because she was like, she doesn't want it so that every time he looks at her, it reminds him of his dad. But I guess it would anyway because that's how he met her. But it was very heartwarming.
Yeah, wait, that makes no sense. Literally, he met her. That's the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah, it made sense in my head as I was saying it. I was like, wait a minute.
Okay. By the way, you know, he had to kill his space dad, but then he had to deal with Thanos and his girlfriend dying. I think he's kind of over the space dad thing. So I got filled in on what happened. Now, if I had to explain the plot of Guardians of the Galaxy, I think I got it, guys. There is a person of color who's real excited about science and technology, and the Guardians find out about this, and they go, "Not on our watch." Did I get that right?
Yeah, you're not wrong. God,
that is the plot. This is like a really cool guy. He wants to experiment, really explore science and whatnot, help make the universe a better place. And the Guardians, racist as I call them, say, "Nope, not as far as we're concerned." I don't know. Can someone else explain the movie better? Adam, could you explain this movie?
I think you're right on. I'm going to kill this whole podcast with. Here's the lay of the land. Peter Quill is in grieving because of the aforementioned death of his dad and of his girlfriend, who's now back in a complete psycho bitch because she's reverted to her old ways, where she's going around on a killing spree. Thanos is her daddy. She loves him, and she's trash. He's in grieving. Rocket's also kind of, he's got a lot of baggage from the past. Yeah. So really, this movie's presenting these characters in a very somber new light. The past two movies were very fun, kind of upbeat, colorful. And I think people are going to, I love this movie, first off. I just want to say that. But I think there's a good chunk of people that might not like this one as much because it is very kind of sad. There's a depressing feeling throughout the entire film. And the plot, Tony, the real plot here is that Adam Warlock, everybody that's of great power and substance.
I'm sorry. We all know. As soon as you said Adam Warlock, I'm like, oh, right, he was in the movie. Yeah, so, he had a lot of staying. But he's one of my complaints we'll get to later, but keep going.
He crashes in. He was teased at the end of Guardians Volume 2. He's here, kind of. He crashes in and to the Guardians headquarters, which is in a floating, hollowed out skull of a Titan, I believe. Is that correct?
Or a Celestial or something.
Celestial, some shit, some giant thing. He beats the living hell out of Rocket to borderline death. It turns out Rocket has something inside of him, which is I can't think of the term that you use to kind of go
kill
from
switch.
One place to another. Yeah, a kill switch is fine. I was thinking of MacGuffin or something. But they have to travel basically to different places to save Rocket's life. That is the entire plot of this movie, is just the Guardians saving one of their buddies. Yeah. This guy that has a face thing going on, a Nicolas Cage face-off situation. he's there and he's an asshole, but that's really secondary. The reason he ties in is because he's the one that did all the terrible things to Rocket in the past.
Okay, so you're right. Rocket's origin is like a big part of this movie because apparently people wanted to know that. I didn't care.
Well, it's like Logan and X-Men too. You know, you got to go back into the origin stuff.
No, that one's
again.
No, Logan and X-Men 2, that's interesting because Logan doesn't know his origin. Rocket did, and he didn't want to talk about it. I'm like, all right, no, I'm cool with that.
He kind of knew it, though, in X-Men 1, if I recall. He's having those fever dreams. You're seeing the experimenting going on. I think it's the same thing.
People are really, like, crying, and they're all sad of this movie because of all the animal stuff and all the sad stuff with Rocket Raccoon. Guys, I didn't cry once, not because I'm a man, but when I was a young kid, I saw something, and I got over the death of raccoons in movies early because I had to live through the trauma that was the beginning of Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls, when that raccoon falls off the mountain and dies. And I remember being, and I literally, this is back when I did cry as a kid, and I did cry in the theater at the beginning of Ace Ventura 2.
What a great movie.
It was just so sad. I was young. I was really young, and it was sad. So having lived that trauma, I was prepared for all the torture we would see in this film. And I'm like, I live
Rhino give birth to a man out of his asshole. I mean, that's gonna.
Also, it's funny people being like, I hope the raccoon's okay. Like where I live in Bucks County, we have raccoons here. I probably see 10 dead raccoons like every other week, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Probably not an anthropomorphic one though that can talk.
It's not as far as I know. They're usually in like a million pieces because a truck ran them over. So, but I mean, who's to say? Maybe some of them could talk. But yeah, there's a lot of like sad animal stuff. Like Rocket's origin is like he's friends with all these like cyborg animals. The bunny was the most disturbing one, I think. He had a girlfriend that was like an otter, right? Wasn't that an otter?
Well, he was a friend. She was a friend that was a girl. I don't know if they were like going steady or anything.
They were just in a cage together.
Yeah.
No, that was his real life girlfriend who exists. That's how he tells people. He's like, I had a real girlfriend that exists, just like Joey C's real girl that he watched Love and Death with.
She's an otter with robot arms. She's real.
I liked how they made them super Disney, though. I thought that was hilarious. Because you knew... Oh, wait. Are we doing spoilers on this or not?
We can do like some light spoilers, I guess.
You knew bad stuff was going to happen to these characters, so I was just like, oh, man. James Gunn's going all in with like the over-the-top, hi, friends. How's it going?
Yep.
Like, that dude's going to get wasted later.
Yeah. No, like, I did enjoy the movie. I enjoyed it more than 2. I don't know. Is that a hot take? What did you guys think?
I completely agree. I think it's way better than 2. I also do agree that it's incredibly sad. I hate to be the woke boy. I did cry a lot.
Soy boy
in this
is
movie.
what we call you.
Yeah, that's a soy boy. That's a soy boy.
I cried quite a bit.
So have you not seen the beginning of Ace Ventura 2 When Nature Calls?
I have. But this was...
When you were in the theater and saw that raccoon getting hurt, you're like, this is just like Ace Ventura.
Yeah, I know. It brought up a lot of unresolved grief that I've never worked through.
Guys, I might watch Ace Ventura 2 When Nature Calls tonight.
Fucking love that movie.
Hey, Tony, with your Ace Ventura story, I was worried you were going in a different direction with that anecdote because you were like, all the animal torture and harm didn't bother me in this movie because when I was a young kid, I thought we were going into like serial killer territory.
Guys, I used to kill raccoons all the time.
It's funny.
I set up little kill rooms and just had a date with them.
I wanted to see what their insides were like so I can learn how bodies work.
My God.
It was for science. I did have to dissect a cat once. You guys ever have to
disgusting.
do that?
Nope, I would have freaked out.
Yeah, I had to do a frog. That was it.
Cool. Why were you dissecting a cat?
Actually, no, it was for the Boy Scouts. I guess the Boy Scouts were more extreme about their dissections.
Holy crap.
And they just had cat cadavers, and we did like a whole thing cutting open a cat. I'm like, okay, this might have long-term effects on me. I don't know what they are. But yeah, so again, it's mostly about Rocket, his origin. The Guardians are like an established thing now. They actually have their suits, which I thought was fun. They're actually like their original comic accurate suits. I enjoyed it. Like I said, now there is one big problem, guys. And Adam, this is going to be a problem going forward. So Cosmo was introduced in the first film. I think we all remember his cameo, right?
No. Wait. Are you talking about the credits scene where they're up on the planet?
In Guardians 1, when they first go to the collector's room, Cosmo is there growling at Rocket. And then at the end of the movie, he licks the collector's face, and that's when Howard the Duck is like, why do you let him lick you like that? Okay. And we didn't see Cosmo since. But then they brought Cosmo back, and guys, that's a different dog breed.
Big time.
That is a different dog breed. And James Gunn, he got the dog breed wrong. And Adam, I don't know if you know this. I know you're standing. Are you sure you don't want to sit down? I might blow your mind here.
Well, I might have a rebuttal, but I'll let you go.
Okay, well, they referred to the dog as a he in the first movie. In the comics, Cosmo is a he, and they made it woke by turning it into a female dog.
Okay.
Do you want to sit down? That was a lot to take. I couldn't believe it when it had a lady voice. I screamed. I said, "Not my Cosmo! Not my Cosmo!"
How do we know that they're the same dogs? Even there could have been more than one astronaut dog.
Actually, I actually did tweet like an asshole about that online, and someone went, "Yeah, the Russians sent a lot of dogs to space." I'm like, "Oh, that is kind of sad. There might be, I mean, a lot of them came back fried, but yeah, there might be just random dogs."
Tony, Guardians of the Galaxy 4 is going to cover exactly this. How Cosmo lost her best friend.
They're all named Cosmo.
All named Cosmo.
But, I mean, if it is a mistake, then that means James Gunn does not care about his own established lore and continuity. Yep. And DC's this will only spell doom for the DCEU, which means we need Snyder back, right? We all need Snyder. Would Snyder make a mistake like this? I think not. Gil, what do you think? Yes, thank you, Gil. Thank you for agreeing with me.
I'm on your side, Tony. This is absurd.
We need to get James Gunn out of DC. We need Snyder back. Yeah, that was actually a stupid complaint. It's just dull. I don't fucking care. I've never read a single Guardians of the Galaxy comic, so I don't really care about Cosmo or anything. I thought it was pretty fun. I like how they made it talk with the voice box. But that voice box isn't in the previous costume, so they screwed up the costume. My biggest complaint with this film, it is the Adam Warlock shit. Because Adam Warlock felt like a setup for Infinity War, because if you read the Infinity Gauntlet comic, he's kind of a big part of it. He's kind of a big part involved with all of that Thanos stuff, and James Gunn introduced it, and I guess the people who did the Avengers movies are like, we don't want to use Adam Warlock. So Adam Warlock and the whole Gold People, the Sovereign, they felt like this leftover thing that I guess he felt the need to like explore and bring back, and it just, for me, it did not jive with the rest of the movie. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that's you've explained that pretty well. I completely agree.
Yeah. What do you think, Gil?
To kind of piggyback off of what you said. I do think it's funny how some of these directors are just like, fuck what you just established in the previous movie. We're doing this. Kind of like how Thor lost his eye at the end of Ragnarok, and then Infinity War, they're like, oh, I got a whole box of eyes. Here you go.
Yeah.
There's a few of those things. A fat Thor is like instantly back in shape at the beginning of Thor: Love and Thunder. It's like, he hit the bow flex. He's good.
Yeah.
Or how Peter Quill doomed half of the entire multiverse for punching Thanos in the face. And James Gunn was like, I might not have made that choice if that was my movie, but...
Yeah. Don't worry, he calls it out in this movie.
Yeah,
he's like, I might have killed the entire universe, but we brought him back.
On Adam Warlock, actually, I didn't hate him in this movie. I actually kind of enjoyed the character. The moments that they played for laughs, I thought were funny. He has somewhat of a character arc, but I do wish we saw more of it, because it's kind of an interesting idea. Yeah. He's like basically an undeveloped brain. He's like a baby in this body, so he doesn't really know or understand morals yet. There are moments where he'll do something awful and be like, what's this thing I'm feeling? I don't like this. Yeah. So I think he might have worked in the movie if there was room for him. But I agree with you. He does feel a little bit like there's maybe too much going on to focus on him.
Because then they say that the whole sovereign civilization was made by the High Evolutionary, and that didn't really jive with me either. I'm like, I don't think these people, this feels like this is very tacked on here. It feels like a holdover, like he felt obligated to finish the Adam Warlock story, I guess. I don't know why. You could have probably just given him his own movie or just forgot about him. Who gave a fuck? I mean, I'm sure there's huge Adam Warlock fans out there, but in this universe, I don't think you really needed him. But yeah, he's the one thing that really just didn't work for me. Also, like, not to spoil it too much, but the trailers and everything made it seem like this ending was going to be way sadder than it actually was. Right?
There are moments that were in the trailer that seemed like very emotional moments. So you remember them from the trailer. Yeah. And I kind of hate that when you're watching the movie. You're like, oh, this is that moment. And you kind of go in with certain expectations. Yeah. And it does, at least for me personally, takes me out of it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm fine with the happy ending. It's just, that's not the movie's fault. Whoever cuts trailers isn't involved. But yeah, a lot of the marketing made it seem like this is the end for them all. And then people were like, I'm going to cry in this movie. And, well, I mean, Joey C. did. But yeah, I was just like, and then I watched the movie and I'm like, I don't know, it wasn't that sad. I guess the animal shit.
I was getting some of the Seinfeld finale vibes where they're like, is this it? Is this how we're going to die? When Starler's like up in the air.
Yeah.
Like, but I got to give Gunn props, though, for really throwing a lot of emotion into the movie without having to do the cheap just kill for the sake of drama. I thought it was actually pretty bold to not kill someone off because everybody was expecting it. And I don't think it really is a happy ending. It's a pretty bittersweet ending. You know, the Guardians kind of are all over the place. They're not exactly full of closure in this movie. It's I'd say the last thing is Chris Pratt was freaking great in this, who typically has been, I feel like, phoning it in lately. He was awesome in this movie.
Yeah, no, I really liked him in this. This character for him is really good. I'm actually kind of happy because everyone wanted him to be Indiana Jones or whatnot, but I'm like, no, he's now his own. I mean, it's a character from a comic, but as far as live action goes, he got to be this character and make it his own, and that's going to be his like iconic role forever. Right. Not so much the guy from the Jurassic World movies.
Owen.
Yeah,
the hand guy from Jurassic World.
I love when they were like filming Jurassic World, like Guardians hadn't come out yet, so they made him like this stoic action guy because I guess they kind of wanted to change up his comedic image, but then Guardians like did really well. So people saw Jurassic World and they're just like, he's not as fun as he was, and then they try to add more humor to him in the next two.
But it never came out before Jurassic World.
It did, but while they were filming, it wasn't out.
I see.
So I feel like if it came out even earlier, they would have been like, we have to rethink this whole character. We got to make him interesting. So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I will say, I think I texted Sean from Movie Dumpster, and I went, I can't believe it. A post-Endgame Marvel thing that's not Spider-Man No Way Home that I enjoyed beginning to end. I can't name anything like.
You didn't like Doctor Strange 2?
I did, except for the whole Illuminati stuff, which was just a Disney Plus commercial. Yeah. That whole section was a Disney Plus commercial, and it took me right out of it. Yeah, but like what? Thor 4? That sucked. Eternals sucked.
Wait, you didn't like Quantumania?
No, I did not like Quantumania.
So bad.
I did not like Quantumania.
Shang-Chi was fine.
No, that was the worst. Yeah. I honestly think that is the worst Marvel movie, and I'm real shocked when people are like, it's actually my favorite. I'm like, what? What did I die? Did I end up in another universe where everyone's stupid? Yeah, some of their shows have been okay, but yeah, I kind of over the MCU, but it's nice to know that once in a while they could put out something that I enjoy. And I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this a lot. I'm excited to see where these characters go next.
I believe Star-Lord is going into the next Avengers series, right?
Ooh. Yeah, I feel like you need someone to replace some of those missing guys, because who the fuck are in the Avengers now?
Well, the Marvels girls. I assume you'll be at that day one, right? The Marvels.
Did you see they killed Miss Marvel in the comics?
Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess like making her the focal point of that terrible video game didn't work. And then no one liked her TV show. That didn't work. So they have to like get people talking about this character before the movie comes out. So they killed her in the They did a death stunt, a death publicity stunt, which no one even cares about anymore because every character who's died has come back. And it's like, wow, you guys are resorting to this, but like you guys could just let this one go. Be like, you know what? We tried this character. She's only been around for 10 years. It's not working. Let's just give up. But they're like, nope, we got to do another publicity stunt. It's very bizarre. It does not make me excited for the rest of the MCU going forward. But yeah, I'd say check out Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I'm sure it's still in theaters.